what's up? Welcome back to South 10 Beer Reviews. I'm Tyler. Thank you so much for stopping by. Tonight we've got a beer from Bell's Brewery. Before we get into it, just wanted to encourage you to hit that subscribe button at the end of the video if you like what you see. So, yeah, it's that time again. That yearly rendition, the 2022 Bell's Hopslam. This is what they're calling a double IPA, brewed with honey. Though this comes in at 10%, to me, I mean, that's basically a triple IPA. But they can name it whatever they want. It doesn't really matter. Let's see. This was canned on January 11th of 2022. So, yeah, we're just over a month old. Today's Valentine's Day. Went out at a nice dinner with my wife and my daughter. And yeah, we're going to come back. Got a nice beer review to get into. Picked this up just a couple days ago. And, or maybe it was yesterday. Possibly yesterday. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So I usually pick this up every year. It kind of varies from year to year. The last few I've actually really enjoyed, from what I can remember. I haven't went back and looked on Untappd or anything. And I don't quite know how this one is doing on Untappd this year, or around the beer tube, or, the beer review sites or whatever. But we're going to get into it because we usually enjoy it, and why not? Let's go ahead and get it in the glass. We're using our Cherry Street glass tonight. And I think we'll get into it here in a second a little bit more in detail. But I think the 12-ounce can for this beer specifically is a good, a good offering. I don't know that this beer needs to be a 16-ounce can. So yeah, we went ahead and poured the whole can in. Yeah, it looks like a West Coast IPA for sure. It comes in, that deep orange color. Not quite to the amber look, like it might seem on camera, but it does have a very deep orange color. Very rocky head. I mean, you can see that clearly on camera. I mean, it's soap suds. It's giant bubbles there. So, I kind of poured a little too much, but it's got about 3 fingers worth of like an off-white color. Maybe we left enough room in there to get a nose on it, but we'll try. So, all right, let's go ahead and shove our nose in it. I mean, we're like gonna have to literally shove our nose in it. I mean, there. See, it's already. Let's just go all in. We can just snort it or whatever. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna not do that. Yeah, it smells like a West Coast IPA. Classic West Coast IPA. I'm getting hit, straight up with like big time candied, like grapefruit, candied orange. That's my favorite thing about West Coast IPAs, I think, is that the way the caramel malt, or in a traditional or like more old school West Coast IPA, a lot of the new ones are not using crystal malt as much, but the crystal malt or caramel malt, however you want to, use it, it definitely, like, to me, always adds this like really nice candied dimension to those like citrusy and fruity hops. Yeah, it smells really nice, actually. It's got a pretty decent aroma coming off of it as far as, it's not muted, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, it's got big time citrus, grapefruit, orange, like orange pith, orange peel. Yeah, sweet, like bready malt, some nice caramel in there. Man, it's got all the West Coast vibes going on. There's a little bit of pineapple floating around in there as well. A little bit of pine, even. Now that the head is kind of dissipating, I'm getting more of a little bit more aroma. Yeah, it's got a really fruity type of vibe going on. Aside from the citrus, it's got, that nice pineapple. Nice malt character, too. So, yeah, this smells really nice to me. So I'm ready to dive in. Let's go ahead and do it. Cheers. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right up front, you're hit with like a nice pop of like piney, resinous type of bitterness. Maybe even like a little bit of like an orange pith. Right after that, I'm getting sweet grapefruit, sweet orange. A little bit of that pineapple is kind of floating in there, but it's mostly dominated by citrus on this one. I'm getting a ton of honey sweetness on the finish there, but it's not cloying. I don't want it to sound like that. It's not overly sweet by any means. Well, I say by any means. Okay, it is a pretty sweet beer. Definitely a lot of residual sweetness in there. I would not call this completely balanced. Like the bitterness does not cancel out that sweetness, which it's probably not supposed to. I mean, you're going to brew a beer with honey because of the sweetness that it's going to add to it, as well as a little bit of like a honey flavor. But, I mean, you're brewing with honey, you know you're going to have a nice sweetness coming off of it. But again, it's not cloying. It's not completely overly sweet. I mean, if you don't like a sweet beer, you might not like this. This is not the West Coast vibe where it's like, you know, minimal sweetness or whatever, and then like a huge bitterness. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of some of the old school IPAs, you know, even like Pliny or something. But it does have a really nice, you know, flavor profile from front to back. You know, I don't have any complaints with it. I mean, honestly, I really enjoy that malt character too. Sweet Bready malt. Sweet Bready malt with like a little bit of caramel. But that honey finish is nice. It doesn't linger as long as you would think it would. I would call this like, I don't know, semi to moderately dry. It's not that bone dry West Coast stuff that, you know, Pliny or, hell, I don't know. I'm thinking, you know, Sierra Nevada, like Torpedo or, you know, even the Pale Ale. Like, it's not that dry. It definitely rides with a good amount more sweetness than those do. But to me, my favorite thing about this beer is that candied citrus comes across in like that nice pithy orange. It even has a little bit of orange flesh to it, but the biggest thing to me is that candied grapefruit. It comes across just undeniable in my opinion, and that is my favorite aspect of this beer. I mean, like I can't think back to really what the other ones tasted like over the years, but this one's a pretty good one in my opinion as far as the you know, the year. I think this stacks up just as, you know, just fine with the previous years. Also, this can, I feel like it looks different. Usually, I think it's like a more of a matte type of green, possibly. But this year, they went with more of like a shiny, like holographic, whatever you want to call it, very glossy type of look, which is kind of cool. But yeah, like I was wanting to say earlier, I think this being a 12-ounce can, 12-ounce beer, I think that works perfectly with this. Oh, we didn't even kind of go over the mouthfeel. Mouthfeel, I would call it, it's kind of lighter as far as the ABV is concerned. You know, with the 10%, you kind of expect a little bit more. But I'd call it light, lighter side of medium, possibly. And then the ABV, 10%. I mean, it's hidden decently well. This beer does not come across boozy to me, but that sweetness in there definitely, you know, sends your mind in that direction of thinking, okay, this is not, you know, this is not a 7% beer or whatever. This is a little, you know, higher up there. And but yeah, I mean, it's hidden decently well. Most beers these days, you know, these breweries know how to hide this bitterness. You know, like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, this beer may have been, would have maybe hit me with like a little bit of booze and alcohol and probably thought it was super bitter, but our palate's changed. So if you're, into West Coast IPAs, I think this would be a good one to pick up. So, as far as a rating on this one, I'm going to give this one I'm going to go like a solid 4.2. I think it's definitely solid. I would buy this again. I've already bought it, so I would buy this again. I bought a 6-pack, and I'm pretty happy with that, so I'll be drinking these for the next few weeks. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button again and that like button again, and I'll do all of it like more than once. I'm just kidding. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Cheers. Worst outro to a video ever.